Hello, Manuela, go. Hello. How are you? How you doing? So glad to see you in the room. Belinda, I am still cracking up from yesterday. That's a ham pop for me, Belinda, just so you know. Hey, Steph. How do you do? So good to see you. Listen, I see you ladies are joining. Let me know who's in the chat. Hey, Lauren, happy Monday. Come on in the room, my sisters. So good. So good. Yes. Come on in the room. I'm so excited. That's so funny how sometimes like people will they just like want to click and just see like, ooh, what's going on inside that space. Hey Tony, come on in. I love the emoji, Tony. I love it. I feel the kisses. I feel the warmth of another sister. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So good to see you all. Listen, I'm going to behave because first of all, can you guys hear me? I feel like let me see. Let me move this over. All right, can you guys hear me? Pretty good. This is generally me. Okay. Here is the beautiful weight that has fallen off of me. I just need y'all to hear this and y'all celebrate in the chat with me. The beautiful weight that has fallen off of me is that I have recognized that this is for us. Somehow I lost my way, Lauren. Somehow I thought because I was using YouTube as the mode, even though other people will come back, this moment, this next hour is for us. Hey, Miss K, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me. So I'm like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm typically like when I am home. Um, Actually, if I had it my way, I would yes, Stephanie, it's just us. If I had it my way, I would be in my uniform of black all the time. So I don't know. I just feel so much pressure released. And I don't know why I didn't realize. I'm like, this is just us. We're just using the forum to come together. So I am feeling very lighthearted. I'm excited about what I'm going to share tonight. What did Stephanie said? My kids laugh at me when they know it's time. I love it. I stinking love. Yes, sit on your porch with your plants. You know, Chelsea, good evening. I just believe that what we are creating in this space is just absolutely God's invitation. It is sweet. It is beautiful. I have been praying for each and every one of you all week long. I have been telling Lauren, people, that y'all was like, we need to go longer. And let me just tell you what one person said. One person said to me, they was like, yeah, those that be saying they want you to go longer and then you go longer, then they be like, oh, I can't stay that long. So I'm laughing, right? But I do understand. So we're going to honor the time. It is already 7:03. For those of you who are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Lachey. I'm so glad that you decided to click the button and join. This is a space where women like you, because here's Ms. Dolores coming in the room, we just slow down and check in on our souls. We are iron sharpening iron. We are loving and encouraging one another. And we are becoming the woman that God always said that we could be. So the first part of our time together is that we just slow down and we connect as a community. And then the second part of our time together, I just share an encouraging word to help us get through our work week, our duties that we have as moms and wives and leaders and all the things that we get to do. So before we get started, y'all, I see you already know how to do this. Y'all coming in tonight. I'm sitting on my sun porch. I see that. Oh no, Stephanie said her kids are laughing at her. Tell me where you're joining from. I know most of the ladies here are joining from Jersey. Kaylin, I see you, girl. That's North Carolina. And Manuela, you are on a different time zone, which is always just absolutely blowing my mind that you are joining us. That just, you have no idea. You're in a whole nother country, and that just blows my mind. And I'm so grateful that I get to be with you in another space as well. So let me know where you're joining from. Give me your one word. What's the one word to describe how you are feeling right now? Oh, Lord, my sister Astra is in the room. We in trouble, y'all. Texas is in the house. Astra Smith, I love you, girl. Don't you show up and pop up on me like that. Don't you do it. You're going to make me cry. Don't make me cry. Sophia, so good to see you from Ewing. So you are close by. I love that. I love it. Come on, Texas in the room. Stephanie, that's my sister from another sister. You know, I get to be in another circle and I'm so grateful. Baltimore is here. I'm so grateful. Listen, ladies, really quickly, a fun question for us tonight. Is it coffee or tea? Quick, put it in the chat. And maybe it's neither. Is it coffee or is it tea? Who's drinking coffee? Who's drinking tea? Tea. I see tea. Okay. I see coffee. Okay. All right. Really quickly, is it beach or is it mountains? Look at Auntie K saying hi to Kaylin. Oh Lord, reunited and it feels so good. All right, Belinda, I see you like tea. Okay. Yes, you needed some water today. Look, I got my water. I actually have my water with me here, and I brought another bottle just in case. Kay said the mountains, Lauren liked tea. Okay, Chelsea both. Yes, it just depends, you know? It depends. It absolutely depends. Now, really quickly before we get into our time, morning or night? Are you a morning person or a night person? Morning or night? Let me see. I like to say I'm a morning person. I definitely love my coffee. I've been making Nespressos for the last, I don't know how, because me and Starbucks got this crazy love affair. How early are you getting up in the morning, Steph? Morning, early, morning. Kay, hey, and I already know you a night person. When I see text messages from you after 11 o'clock, I'm like, this is where she thrives. This is her time. This is where she actually thrives at. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tony's thinking. That's okay, Tony. It just probably depends on the season. And Stephanie, I might have to have you be my accountability partner if you're getting up at 4:30ish. My alarm is going off at 5, but here lately I have been hitting the snooze button. Please do not judge me. Please do not judge me. It's all good. Okay, listen, ladies, we're going to shift gears a little bit now that we warmed up and everyone's in the chat and we're sharing where we like to go, beach or mountains, whether we're drinking coffee or tea, or we are morning or a night person. This is where we're going to slow down a little bit before we open God's word and just check in on our soul. So for those of you, again, who are new, and even for those of you who are returning, we've been talking through what I call the 4 R's, where we are remembering, we are releasing, we are restoring, and we are rising. And those are the pillars that I use to share by checking in on our souls, as well as when I share our word of encouragement. So, right now, we're just going to take a few minutes. We're going to slow down a little bit and let's check in with ourselves. And so, the first question that I'm asking as we remember, which is our identity, as we are remembering, let us remember who we are and what God has done for us. And so the question for tonight's remembering is, what is something you used to enjoy that you like to do again? Somebody put that in the chat for me. What is something you used to enjoy that you'd like to do again? Like you just think about a hobby or anything. What is that one thing that you really used to enjoy? Roller skating. Come on, Lauren. That you said, oh, I would love to do that again. I used to go to the roller rink, Lauren, down South Trenton. I'm sure you're familiar. I think it was called the Capitol Skating Rink. And I used to cry when I could not go. And I remember having my pink covers, and then sometimes I would have pom poms on my roller skates. But this body right now, it can't handle no fall. It can't handle a fall. But I used to, and Stephanie, we used to walk from the roller rink, and I was the baby hanging out with the older kids. Kendall Park, yes. We used to walk back to, what was it, DeVito's Pizzeria, downtown Trenton. I'm dating myself. Tony, I'm dating myself right now. I am dating myself. Yes, we used to go to Kendall Park. But I see Steph said singing. Now, Steph, I saw you singing in the choir, honey. So yes, don't stop singing. Don't stop singing. So do you see when we slow down just for a minute, it brings joy to our hearts to just stop and reflect on the things that we like to remember, things that we like to enjoy. I used to sing in a jazz band. Oh, wow. Fun fact. Not lead, Stephanie. Come on, stop. The lead singer? Okay. Listen, I'm going to figure this technology out, and eventually I want y'all to buckle up. I'm going to start inviting some of you to join me. Let me see in the chat right now who would be willing to join me on screen. I call it the hot seat. And Miss K, if you still there, don't you say nothing about the hot seat. Kaylin, you know what the hot seat is. Manuela, you know what the hot seat is. Don't say nothing. I see Manuela says she loved to be in the pool. Yes. I had a chance to get in the pool for 4th of July. It was absolutely refreshing. I was so glad that I made time to just slow down and enjoy being with my family on that day, for sure. Okay, here we are. Here's a sticky statement that I want you all to hear when it comes to remember. You ready for it? Healing often begins with remembering. Healing often begins when we stop to remember. So here's our second R, and this is release. And the part of the release is us letting go any burden that we might be carrying knowingly or unknowingly, believing in God's freedom. Okay. And so I'm encouraging you to let us let go of what we are carrying. Here's the question, and it may not apply to everyone. What are you tired of carrying? Put it in the chat. What are you tired of carrying? And while you're doing that, I see other people who have joined. I want to welcome you. If this is your first time here, if you have not yet considered to look at other videos and clips and you're enjoying the content so far in the community, before you leave, make sure you subscribe. Encourage me by doing that. Let me know if you like it and leave me a comment of other things that you would love for us to be sharing and talking about in this community. Let me see. Who's that? Kay, what are you talking about? Choose my niece. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Past trauma. I see you, Belinda. I see you. You're in the right place, Belinda. You're in the right. Tonight we're going there. I'm going a little bit deeper. I've got some stuff that I want to share tonight again. And I said that to you all. So as we are checking in on our souls, we are remembering who we are. We are releasing the things that we were never meant to carry. And now we are getting ready to move into a place of restoring. But before we do that, I want to share this statement with you. What we refuse to release eventually becomes what weighs us down. And God didn't create us to be weighted down, He created us to be free and free indeed. So, whatever those burdens are, whatever it is that you're carrying tonight, I just want to give you the invitation to begin to release it and believe that God is big enough to handle all the things that we are not. When we get to the place of restoring, this is the healing part, right? Of us checking in on our souls. And it's like, what is actually filling your cup? And so my question to you would be, and I want you to just really think about it, is where did you experience peace this week? Even if it was a slither of peace. We think about the mamas who have the little ones, and sometimes they lock themselves in the bathroom just for a few moments, just to still away a little bit of peace. And so tonight, as we are checking in on our souls, and if you don't have anything to share, I want you to consider how to look for it this week. What can restore your soul? What is the thing or conversation or people or the ice? I don't know what it is for you that restores, replenishes you, and helps to fill your cup. Let me see. Yes, Lauren, I see that. Tired of carrying the opinions of others, but I am doing so much better. Yes, love that. I love it. So as we begin to restore and think about what that means, what did you experience this week? I see Kaylin. I spent time writing my thoughts at a coffee shop. Yes, I love that. I love it. I see Stephanie saying, I found peace literally in my garden. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. I love it there. You got up your veggies, watching them grow. How beautiful. Tony, I love that. Be still. Be still and know that He is God and He is still writing our stories. Belinda, I see you in your prayer closet. Come on, sis. You ever see War Room? That prayer closet had post-its all over the place with people's names and things that you were believing for. God sees. He is the God that sees. Keep praying, keep believing. putting my thoughts down on paper. Come on, that's bringing you peace. We're being restored by the things that God, He's replenishing our souls. And we're just talking about what replenishes us. We're talking about we're remembering who we are. We're releasing the things that God never meant for us to carry. We're reminding ourselves of what restores us. How does God restore us? Sitting still briefly. I love it. I love that. Here it is. Restoration often happens in small moments of faithfulness. Did you hear that? Restoration often happens in small moments of faithfulness. Be kind to yourself. Be kind. Oh, I love it. Go on a long, quiet drive. No music, no nothing. Just my thoughts and God. Oh, girl, listen, I love it. That sounds like a good road trip. Oftentimes when I am going places, I will look for the routes that are not hectic. I will look for the routes that might take a little bit longer, but the beauty of God's creation is so fascinating for me, and it invites me to actually slow down when I'm driving. I love it. I love that so much. So this is the part where we are checking in on our souls. The last part is the rise. This is the transformation where we're thinking, what is next? What does God have for us next? And the one question this week that I want to ask is, do you have a goal for this week? Is there one goal that you have? Not two, not three, not five, not 10, but just one. One, we're asking God, give us enough light to step on. What is the one goal that maybe you have this week? I love it. I'm looking in the chat. Yep. I see other people who are saying, yes, I love the scenic route. Absolutely. I love me a good, Kaylin, I know you love a good road trip because you were driving us around when we were out in Dallas. And I say, thank you, sister. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Chelsea, walking outside is something new for me. Now, I'm not going to take up our whole night, but I need to share this with you. Where I live, I can walk to what we call like our community hub, and it has, all of the different amenities of the property, one of which is the gym. So for most of you who have been around, I'm on a health journey, and I started walking over to the gym. Well, I recently had a little bit of an incident because we are also a pet friendly environment, and someone's dog got loose. And I have been pushing back the fear that this dog is going to be out there when I'm walking to the gym. But I love walking in the morning. It's a brief little walk, and I put my weighted vest on, and then I go to the gym and do my cardio. And today was an upper body day. And then when I come back, I put my weighted vest back on, then I walk back outside. But then there are sometimes I will just walk on the property. And I said, God, I don't want to be fearful. This dog, somebody's dog done got loose, and it was not a good experience. Maybe I'll share it another time because I don't even really want to remember it. But anyway, I absolutely love walking outside. What's Lauren saying? Lauren says, clear up stuff in my pending. Lauren, listen, that's a real thing, honey. That one goal right there, because when I look at my inbox, not my mail, but my Google Drive and even my hard drive, I need to organize my files. That is a whole project. So, yes, very good. Here's our sticky statement to remember when it comes to rise. Transformation happens when obedience meets opportunity. Okay? Transformation happens when obedience meets opportunity. So when we see that we say we want to reach a goal, it's one thing for us to just write it down, but then we need to put some action behind it, because transformation without application, I'm just saying, what we doing? We are being transformed every single day. And as we set our goals and our hearts and affection towards the things that you believe God is inviting you to do, then we need to take some action to it. So that transformation is only going to happen when we obey what it is we're being invited to do. Amen. All right. Listen, ladies, I'm excited. So you remember, for those who are new and those who are returning, I'm using the 2026 Own Your Life Planner, which is created by Crystal Evans Hurst. I absolutely love it. I made a joke about how I went away a couple weeks ago. I said I had my planner packed, and I had my sneakers packed, but I did not have a toothbrush and toothpaste. I'm like, sis, you got to brush your teeth while you away. But I was not leaving without my planner because I carry this thing around like it is a newborn baby. Okay. So I want to stop and I want to share this week's quote with you all. And we'll just take a few minutes to just kind of talk this through because this one really grabbed my heart in a very different way. The quote says, God does not yell, he whispers. God does not yell, he whispers. And the question that we're being asked as we get ready to kind of prep our hearts to transition into our encouraging word is, what is God whispering to you lately? What is God whispering to you lately? You know, whenever we have ever talked about the quote, I've found that I had, maybe one or two sentences to write. This one right here, it is full. You see that? It is just the one question about the quote. It is full. And so I'm going to share very vulnerably, Lauren. I'm going to share very vulnerably, Chelsea. I'm sharing, okay? Because I'm remembering that this is our space and our time. But I do believe that someone that is not yet a part of our community will come back and be encouraged by reading the chat. They will be encouraged by me paying my life forward. So here it is. The first thing that God is whispering to me is, come out of hiding and journey along. So when I say to you all that I am paying my life forward, I am paying my life forward in real time. And back last year in August, when God first gave that word to me to come out of hiding, to walk into my healing, and to live the Zoe kind of life, the John 10 and 10, the Genesis 1 and 2 life. I did not know that Monday, July 13th at 7:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that I would still be talking about this in the way that I am. So much so, I find it very interesting that Monday at 12:30, I am with my other circle. Then I go to therapy at 2:30. And then I end my night in this most beautiful community with each and every one of you who you keep coming back. And I'm so grateful that you keep coming back. And so what he's whispering to me lately is that I am equally coming out of hiding. And tonight I'm going to share a little bit more about that, because sometimes the content will feel like it's repeating itself, but it is worth repeating because it is a slow unveiling. Okay. The second thing that God is saying about that is that he said, Lachey, there are still places where I want the real you, not the strong you, not the pastor you, not the leader you, or the teacher you. I want you. That's what he's whispering to me right now. He said, I do not have to earn what he has already called me. And so he's whispering to me, oh God, why am I always getting on here feel like I want to cry? He's whispering to me, stop proving and start abiding, resting in him. The third thing that he says is, I am healing you while I'm using you. So even though I am showing up here very vulnerably every Monday at 7 p.m., God is whispering, I'm healing you while I'm using you. The fourth thing he said was, what you desire is not too much. Trust me, God. Trust me enough not to settle. The fifth thing he said was, slow down enough to notice me. Okay. And the last thing he said to me is that I am still forming you. He is still forming me. These are the things that God is gently, sweetly whispering to me. Gently, sweetly whispering to me. Gently, sweetly whispering to me. So we've reached the point of our time together where we will transition into the encouragement piece for those of you who aren't aware. And tonight we're going to be coming from Genesis 3:9, which is a familiar passage of what we've been sharing, but it's also a part of the hiding in fear, which is the first Devo that I wrote when God started to speak to me. And so I just want to just read a little bit to you, and then we'll jump right into our time together. So this section is called God Still Comes Looking for You. Can you relate? I can remember a time when I made a decision that I knew was not going to lead me to peace, and yet I proceeded. As I approached the decision, I could sense how I was disappointing God. I even began to think, is there any way back into his presence? My decision came from exhaustion and fear and feeling helpless, as if I had no way out. I sat and I wondered, is there any way for me to get back on track? During this time, I stopped praying with the same openness. My Bible stayed closed more days than it should have. I avoided quiet spaces because I didn't want to sit long enough to hear my own guilt whisper. I kept telling myself I would return to God when I felt better or when I cleaned up the mess. But that better never seemed to arrive. I was functioning, smiling, showing up to commitments, speaking faith filled words, but emotionally, I was hiding. I felt like if I got too close to God, he would confront the very places I didn't want to revisit. I feared his disappointment and I feared his silence even more. And one day I was sitting in my living room and I began to call out to God. The weight was so heavy. And then I felt a calm come over me, so gentle. And then I said out loud, God, thank you. Thank you for your spirit living on the inside of me. I sensed he was near and that he was still with me. I remember exhaling a sob I didn't know I'd been holding. It was the first time in months I felt something other than failure. It was the first time I realized God hadn't moved, I had. And even then, he came looking for me. That moment changed me, not because I suddenly felt holy or perfect or put together, but I realized this: God pursues us even when we try to hide. He looks for us even when we hide. He calls us even when shame silences us. This is the heartfelt redemption woven through scripture. And this is the heartfelt of his love towards you and I today. And so tonight, we're going to continue the conversation where we are talking through Genesis 3 and 9. But the Lord called to the man and he asked the question, where are you? And that's coming out of the first of my sharing, Hiding in Fear. And for those of you who have been around for a while, you know that there are two others that followed and two more that I'm currently working on. So when I think about how God has been whispering to me and saying that I'm going to heal you while I use you, that becomes very real to me because I'm writing out of a space of him ministering right back to me, and I'm just paying it forward. So tonight's encouragement, we're asking the question, where are you? And it's Genesis 3 and 9. And the overarching big idea is that God doesn't ask where you are because he lacks information. He asks because he desires restoration. He desires relationship. He desires the intimacy of you drawing close to him. And the overarching theme is before God restores us, he invites us to be honest about where we are. And so Genesis 3:9, it says, then the Lord God called Adam and he said to him, where are you? Just take a breath. And if you want to put it in the chat and let us know, where are you arriving tonight? Because here's what this scripture is showing in Genesis 3. You know, it's a heartbreaking feeling to know that Adam and Eve have just eaten from the tree God told them not to touch. And immediately after that, sin entered into the picture, and their eyes were opened, and shame entered, and fear entered, and blame entered, and hiding entered. And what I know is that the Bible says they heard God walking in the garden, and instead of running to him, they ran from him. And then God, being who he is, he just asked a question. He said, where are you? And we've already discovered that he's not asking something that he doesn't already know. Where we've already discovered and discussed that it wasn't that he couldn't find them because God is omniscient. He knew exactly where they were physically. So the question wasn't like a geographical history, social studies question. It was more about the condition of where they were. Where were they now spiritually? Where were they emotionally? Where were they relationally? And what happened to the intimacy that they once shared that now they are hiding? And so tonight, I just believe that God is still asking us this question, not because he does not know, but because he wants us to know that he pursues us. And that's the overarching of why, over these last several weeks we've been talking about remembering her. And now we're at this place of talking about what is it going to take for us to come out of hiding, because God's first response to us doing something that leads to what we feel like is failure is not punishment. It's actually him pursuing us. So before judgment came, God came looking. Before consequences came, God called their names. Before correction, there was him trying to reconnect with them. And I want you to know something. That is good news. It's good news for every single woman that's in this chat right now, for every single person that will come back and watch the replay, because some of us think God is waiting to condemn us. But I want you to know Genesis 3 shows us he is often pursuing us while we are still hiding from him. And so, if you remember me talking about our four pillars, remember, release, restore, and rise, when we think of remember, the truth that maybe we have forgotten about our identity is God is asking us, where are we? I want you to notice he's not saying, what's wrong with you? Why did you ruin everything? How could you be so foolish? Instead, he's asking a relational question because relationship was always his priority. What does this reveal about God's nature? He's pursuing us. He desires for us to be in that place of Genesis 1 and 2 in the garden with him. So he's initiating restoration. And he comes looking for all of us who, for some reason or another, which only we know and he knows, we wander off. He moves towards the brokenness that we feel like we need to hide from him because of a choice that maybe we have made knowingly or unknowingly that caused us to be in whatever situation that we're in that causes us to hide. So, what does this reveal about us? Just take a moment and think. What does this reveal about us? What I believe to be true is that we are still wanted even after we fall. I'm clear about that, which is why he's healing the broken parts of me. We are still loved even after we have made mistakes. And let me tell you something, I have made my fair share of mistakes. I've made mistakes financially, I have made mistakes relationally, I have made mistakes vocationally. I have made many, 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 many mistakes, some of which I am still recovering from. But I thank God that he did not change his mind about his pursuit of me. We are still called even after we've made those choices. And I don't know the age of all of the women that are in this chat and the age of women who will come back. But what I know is that many women over 50 have allowed life experiences to redefine them, whether it's divorce or loss or disappointment or betrayal or missed opportunities, unfilled dreams. But God doesn't identify Adam by his failures, and he doesn't identify you by yours. And so, a part of us opening our Bible and reading the principles and the promises of God and replacing the lie with the truth, the lie that I've gone too far, or that I'm too late, or I'm too old, or I missed my turn, I should be further off by now, I should be married now, I should be more successful by now. God is disappointed with me. Here's what I want you to hear: you are not disqualified because of your choices and the struggles that you may be experiencing. God is still calling you daughter. And what I want you to also know is that God's pursuit of you and God's pursuit of me, it is proven evidence of the value that you have, which is why we talked about that lost sheep, that lost coin. God's pursuit is not proof of your perfection, it's proof of your value. Let me say that again. God's pursuit isn't proof that you are perfect, it is proof that you are valuable. And so when we look at the release part, it's asking us what needs to be surrendered? Where do we need to find freedom? Where do we need to find freedom at? And after God asked the question, Adam's response was, and we're going to get to this next week, Genesis 3:10. I heard your voice in the garden and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. There it is. Fear, shame, hiding. And it's time for us to talk honestly. Why do we hide when we're hurting? Why do we do that? Because hurting feels vulnerable and vulnerability feels risky. So instead, we hide. And I talked about this before, short term energy relieving behaviors. We hide behind busyness. We hide behind ministry. We hide behind our work. We hide behind perfectionism. We hide behind people pleasing. We hide behind trying to control, which for many of you who have been around, you know, I share what one of our leaders shared, that control is an illusion. You don't have it. And sometimes we're physically present, but we are emotionally hidden. And we're going to get to that next week. Sometimes we're serving, but secretly struggling. And sometimes we're smiling and we're really underneath that. We are suffering. I just want to take a minute. I want you to take it in. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking. I see it. Don't make God sit you down. Fear keeps us stuck. And this is what fear says. What if I fail? What if people see the real me? What if things never change? Shame keeps us stuck. Shame says you are what happened to you. You are a mistake. You are your worst moment. Disappointment keeps us stuck. Disappointment will whisper to you, maybe this is all life really has to offer for me. Maybe I did miss my turn and someone else, will come behind me that I love and care for and they'll get it, but it's not for me. Because hope feels dangerous after repeated disappointments. Let me say that again. You will find yourself giving up on believing when you've had repeated disappointments. So hope will feel dangerous. It'll feel too risky for you to keep hoping. But I'm going to ask you this question, and I've asked it before. What are you hiding behind tonight? What burden have you been carrying alone? And what I believe to be true when it comes to the release, that second R, God's healing begins where our hiding ends. One more time. God's healing begins when our hiding ends. And so as we get ready to move into the third R, which is what is God rebuilding? What is he healing? Because the beautiful thing about Genesis 3 is that God initiated the conversation. Adam didn't go looking for God. God came looking for Adam. That's restoration. God moves towards broken places, not away from them. And some people think restoration starts when we get ourselves together. It does not. Restoration starts when we stop hiding from God. What is God trying to heal in your life right now? Is it a wounded heart? Is it a broken dream? Is it a damaged identity because somebody got their hands on you and shaped you and labeled you and told you things that God never said about you, reminding you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made? Is it the fear of the future? What is God trying to heal right now? What relationship is God desiring to restore? because this community right here is rebuilding somebody's confidence right now. Because before Adam's actions changed, God wanted Adam to be honest. That's why he asked the question. He already knew the answer. And God wasn't asking for perfection. He was inviting him to be honest with where he was at. When we think about our perspective needing to be renewed, I just wonder if maybe God is not standing over you with condemnation, but he's standing near you with open arms and an invitation. Because God restores what shame tried to destroy. And shame says, hide. But God says, come forward, come forth, come closer. So we'll transition now into our fourth R, which is rise. This is how do we respond? How do we seek the transformation that God so desires for us? What is he asking us? Will we be honest when he asks the question? What do we do with God's question? Do we answer it honestly? And not the church answer, not the polished answer, the honest answer. What is the honest answer? And maybe it is tonight, God, I'm tired. God, I'm overwhelmed. God, I'm scared. God, I'm frustrated. God, I'm disappointed. God, I'm trying to discover myself again. I'm trying to become her, the one you said I could always be. Where do I start? Where do I start? Do I even know what I want? Or have I been living a life pleasing other people and trying to do what we think is the right thing to do? God, I feel like I lost myself. Do I know if I like ice cream or cupcakes? I probably do. But do I like the flavor because somebody else liked it? Do I even know what I want? Do I know what's coming next, God? Am I ready for what is coming next? And the power, I want you to hear this, the power is not having the perfect answer. The power is in you just simply showing up. Stop hiding. So I want to give us 3 practical steps for this week that perhaps you can begin to do. And I don't know if some of you like to journal. I know I am someone that loves to journal. So I want to encourage you to, number 1, I want you to locate, where are you? Where are you spiritually? Where are you emotionally? Where are you mentally? Where are you relationally? And here it is. Be honest. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. You know, I said to a friend and I also said to my therapist, I said, I'm discovering at 53 that I'm actually learning how to really feel. And what I mean by that is I would feel something and then I would just push it and move along. Now I'm finding myself feeling and I'm saying, hey, you're upsetting me. Hey, that really hurt the way you said that. But what I'm also discovering, Steph, is that in my giving language to what I am feeling, that feeling of rejection, the feeling of not being wanted, the feeling of someone reminding me that I'm too much because of the way God created me. What I'm finding is that as I'm sharing and giving language, the Holy Spirit is now prompting, almost challenging me to take action. And that's scary because if I'm in a relationship with a girlfriend, a guy, whatever, and something is happening that I don't like, and I'm recognizing it, identifying it, giving words and language to it, and now I'm being invited to take action. The thought of me ending something, it could be scary. That's a real feeling. And some of us have stayed stuck in situations because we're not willing to take the action. We're not willing to be honest. And in the season of life that many of us are in, God is saying, come forth, stop hiding. Come unto me, all who are burdened and heavy laden. Come to me. I have a plan to prosper you and not to harm you. So we have to acknowledge where we really are truly in those areas. The second thing is leave one hiding place, meaning identify one area where you've been hiding. I said it to you. For me, it was, the fear of rejection, how I show up in a space, being triggered and reminded by a label that was placed on me as a young girl. And I'm sure that person didn't mean any harm, but it certainly created the woman that I was when I would show up in spaces and I would be bubbly and just love to engage and share and in school and all of the things. And it would silence my voice if I felt like I was being too much. The third thing is this, because again, before I get to the third thing, one of the things that I have been praying about was that God would give me enough light to step on each day. And that's what me revealing that one hiding place has done. The light is shown on it now. The third and final thing for you to consider this week is to respond to God's invitation. Spend a few minutes, and I don't know what your devotional time looks like. Spend a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just simply sitting with him and writing, not performing, not pretending, just in his presence. Empty your heart. Sometimes I journal and it come out so fast. I try to go back and read it. I can't even read it because I just keep my pen to the paper because I'm emptying my heart. I'm emptying my heart out. Whatever comes next, I empty my heart out every single day. Before I even read, I will empty my heart and begin to confess all the things that I'm navigating. And so here's what I will share with you. Before God changes your situation, he invites you to acknowledge your condition. And the woman that you and I are becoming begins with the truth you are willing to face. The woman you and I are becoming begins with the truth that you and I are willing to face. So tonight, I don't believe that God, he's not trying to condemn us. That's not what's happening. That's why you guys been sticking it out. I believe he's bringing us to awareness because he's inviting us to come out, to draw nigh, to be in relationship, to give to him the things that we've been dealing. Remember who you are, release the thing you were never meant to carry, restore by replacing the lie with his truth, and then rise as the daughter that he says that you are. So the same God who walked through the garden is walking right now with each and every one of us through our lives. And the same God who called Adam is calling us. And so perhaps the most important thing that you do tonight is just answer the question, where are you? Not where you pretend to be, not where you think people want you to be or think that you are, and not even where you wish you were. Where are you really? Because healing begins where honesty lives. And God can restore. He can restore what you are willing to reveal. So I want to share this final affirmation with you or declaration with you. I don't have to hide anymore. God knows where I am. He loves me right where I am and is leading me toward who he created me to become. I am not starting over. I am becoming her again, the woman he always intended for me to be. Final thoughts. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Many women stop hiding, but they still wear masks. And next week, that's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about the mask we wear. It's coming from Genesis 3 and 10. If you fear being seen, you want to make sure that you mark your calendar. Monday, next week, 7 p.m. We're coming back. Genesis 3 and 10. We're coming back. Because many women, they stop hiding, but they still wear a mask. And next week, that's exactly where we are going. Woo! All right, let's see. Yes. Come on. I see you in the chat. I see you. Who's walking on eggshells? Kay, what's happening? I love it. Chelsea said, we are sometimes loyal to what's not good for us in relationships, regardless of how many years knowing each other. Yeah, that loyalty will get you. It will surely get you. It will surely get you. It will, for sure. I'm so if y'all could even see what is to the left of me, I'm so excited. I don't want to give, as they say, I don't want to give the farm away. But next week for sure, we're going to be talking about the mask we wear, and then coming right behind that will be hiding behind performance, hiding behind strength. What are you afraid they'll see? I'm just giving a little teaser. Just a little teaser. Now listen, I will tell y'all, I told y'all before that this is for us, but I am doing these other videos so that other people may possibly discover and join us. And so I'm calling them like discovery videos. So I did release one last week. If you haven't had a chance to go back and take a look, I think it was titled "Who Am I Now? How Life Has Changed, but Nobody Prepared Me for This." It's a short video. And then this week I'm going to be releasing something titled "The House is Quiet. Nobody prepared me to be an empty nester." So if you know anybody who would enjoy that kind of message and content, or even this community, make sure you're sharing. If you have not already done so, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like, turn on your notifications, because that's how you know that I am going live. Thank you to the ladies who are in here who I do have personal contacts with. I feel like all of y'all I got personal contacts with. So I send a reminder to you all through another group. I'm learning how to keep us together. So y'all bear with me. Yes, Stephanie, it is on YouTube as well. So if you go to my YouTube channel at Lachey M. Johnson, these videos here will come up underneath the live tab. If I kind of cut and paste it, and I take just the audio of the teaching, that will be on my podcast, which is Lachey Johnson Podcast. It's on Spotify and on Apple for people who just want to listen. The Tuesday release that I do, which I'm calling like discovery videos, those will come out on Tuesdays, I think at 7, but they're all underneath the video tab underneath my channel, which is at Lachey M. Johnson. Christopher said he needed to be fed. So I got Amy, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm super encouraged that you ladies keep coming back. You have no idea. I'm going to keep doing. You're welcome, Manuela. I'm going to show up until God tells me to do something different. And the kind of clarity, Astra, that he has given me to pay forward in the way that I am, it's clearing up. I think in the beginning I felt like I was throwing spaghetti up against the wall, but I needed to take a step because I was feeling like I needed everything to be perfect, whether it was the lights or whatever. And that's just not so. Yeah. And I discovered that very, very, very quickly, Dolores. I discovered it very quickly, Lauren, because even in a project that I'm currently working on, which is it's not major, it's major to me, but I just grabbed my phone, I got the lights, and I put on my mic, and I just started recording. I'm doing some teachings for a group of people, and I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm Chelsea, you've been rocking with me. I don't know how long, Chelsea. It's way before the pandemic. I know that we've been rocking. Belinda, you are so welcome. I hope you are sharing this. I don't know if your sister is there with you when you're viewing, Belinda, but please, I'm so, so encouraged by you joining every single week. Dolores, I didn't see you yesterday, did I? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yep. All right, listen, it's almost 8 o'clock. I love you all with my whole heart. I am super, super grateful that I get to serve in this kind of way. I am paying my life forward right here in this space. Mark your calendars, turn on your notifications. It is my plan, my prayer that I will be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. and we can ready to talk about that mask wearing. All right. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening and an amazing week. See ya.